I'm hoping that what they'll see is that radio is in rude health. Certainly the picture I've painted about UK radio, the audience listening has never been higher than it is today. But that they also ought to take out that we are fantastically well positioned in order to be able to grow our audiences going forward. What we must not do anymore is think about ourselves purely as radio output, but more great radio brands that are then making themselves available on other platforms, other devices, so that content can be created and aggregated to get to consumers wherever, whenever, however they want it. In the KISS example, I talked about the KISS audience for radio being 4.4 million. As a consequence of stretching that brand across a number of platforms, the total touch points brings in an audience of 12.1 million. So that's the way to grow an audience.
What we're trying to explain is that leaders are a trusted guide for their team in a really fast-moving, confusing digital environment. There's a real danger at times like this that they focus on the processes, on the stuff, not the story. And really, I hope they take away that in the end, it's all about the people and the way you make them feel. We've worked intensively, unbelievably, with 1,500 new leaders and new journalists. And we've got a really strong sense that there's a mismatch between what the journalists want and what the leaders give them. And what we're saying to editorial leaders is take the confidence you feel as a journalist and use that confidence to address the issues you face as a leader. Use that thing you're confident about. So we've put together a very simple model, which is apply the principles of great journalism to get to great leadership in so many aspects of the management challenges you face. And I suppose finally, in conclusion, just to establish the role of the leader as a storyteller and as a teacher, someone who can imagine the future and put that journalist in that picture, if you like, to bring clarity where there could be confusion.
I hope the delegates are going to take away the idea that social media isn't that difficult and that they need to have a go at it and they need to test things out. I was saying to them what they should be concentrating on is A, audiences. They've got to understand what sort of content the audience want. B, behaviour. Behaviour is not just the behaviour of the audience and where they're finding stuff, but also their own behaviour in the newsroom. So to change things and to motivate people. Don't be afraid, take a few risks. The C of social media is really the content. It's all about the content. You've got to create interesting stuff. And I said to them, can you always look at your content and ask, is it right? R-I-T-E. Is it relevant? Is it interesting? Is it timely? And is it engaging? And if it's not, then you need to rethink it.
Facebook is one of a number of tools that radio stations can use. But I think if we look at the evolution of technology, and especially mobile, and how mobile has become a ubiquitous part of people's lives, Facebook is at the centre of that. 12 months ago, we retooled and repurposed our organisation to take advantage of mobile in order to provide, a communication for brands, but also an advertising medium as well. I think when I was asked to speak at this conference today, it was to look at how Facebook can assist radio stations to drive revenue. And I think if you have the correct connections on your page, and if you're talking to your connections in the right way, and what I mean about that is using relevant content and using Facebook's targeting capabilities to get that content to the right person on the right device, i.e. mobile, tablet or desktop, I hope that radio stations will come away with a number of best practices that will enable them to begin that journey.
Evolution. You need to keep moving. You need to keep pace with the audience. Nothing stands still. And particularly the exponential sort of growth of communication, technology, means of talking to each other, means of programming, that radio brands, content brands, have to keep up with that pace of change. It's exciting. That's an opportunity. Radio shouldn't see that as a competitive set that somehow is there to destroy them. It's something that needs to be embraced, worked on, built on, and I think it can develop radio. It can help radio reach new audiences. It's very exciting.